Hello, badasses, and welcome. I'm so excited to bring on my incredible badass client, Helena. And she's going to share her journey to conquering binge and emotional overeating. And I'm so excited for you to hear her journey because, it's one thing to hear from me and, hear my experience and how I conquered binge eating, but it's another thing to hear from someone who's also gone through this process and shown up so powerfully for themselves and committed long term. Helena is somebody who committed to a year plus in her journey to conquering binge and emotional overeating. And Conquer is our signature program, which is 6 or 12 months. And it's designed to help you sustain binge free months because the thing is, I've had so many clients come to me and they've said, I've been able to go a week or a few months without binge eating, but then something always happens, whether work gets busy or you're super stressed out or you go on vacation or you have a weekend getaway. And anytime something happens, it triggers you to go back to old habits. And honestly, I know how frustrating that can be. And I was like, I need to create a program that can help you go months and years without binge eating, without going back to old habits. And so I'm so excited for you to hear Helena's journey. I'm going to bring her on, and she is an incredible, incredible human being who's just so committed to a better relationship with food. And it's why she conquered. Like I said, she committed to a year plus in her journey. And you're just going to see how open she is to receiving coaching and her positive mindset. And that's a huge reason why her and a lot of my clients conquer is because their willingness to change, their openness to a new approach, and their ability to commit long term. So let's go ahead and bring her on. Hello, Helena. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you and connect with you. And thank you so much for coming on. I'm excited for you to just share your journey and your experience inside of the program.
I'm so excited.
Amazing. Okay, let's fast forward all the way to before you even decided to work with me and join Conquer. What was your relationship with food looking like?
Um, well, when I was 12, I started high school. So in Belgium, you start high school at 12 already. And my school was very close by, so I would come back from school every day. And sometimes my parents weren't home, so I would eat a lot of the cookies, and I never really like thought about it much. And then I hit puberty, and so I was gaining weight, and that's when I really just, wanted to lose weight, and then the restricting and binging cycle just became so big. And that just went on throughout my high school experience for so long. And yeah, it at a certain point, it wasn't even me restricting anymore. It was just such a habit of like just wanting food and binging. So yeah, I mean, I struggled. I was struggling since I was 12 years old.
Wow. Wow. And it's interesting that you mentioned that you weren't really dieting anymore. You weren't really restricting anymore, but you were still binging. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
the times people are like, I don't get it. I'm not on my fitness pal. I'm not tracking my food. I'm
Yeah.
not dieting, but I'm still binging. And this is because it's all a habit. So is that
Yes. Yeah.
kind of drew you to my work?
I saw a TikTok of you, and it just resonated with me so much, and I could see myself in it. And then I saw that you had a podcast. So I remember just listening because you have so many
Yeah.
episodes, and I was listening to them constantly, and it was just such a breath of fresh air to be like, wow, there's someone else going through this, because I honestly did not know anyone who had this, who had a binging disorder around me. So and I never saw much of it online. So this was just like so, I mean, I loved it, and that's how I, learned about the program and everything. And yeah, I remember listening to the podcast so much.
Yeah. That's what usually people start off with. They're like, okay, this
Yes.
makes so much sense. Like I need to get
Yes.
inside. Um, so I guess when it comes to even support, like, you know, a lot of the times people are in different countries and they don't really
Yeah.
have this level of support even where you're at. So did you try anything else before jumping
Yeah.
into the program? Okay, let's dive into that.
I
I want to hear all about this.
I did so much because I mean, yeah, it started when I was 12, so I was struggling a lot. And I remember telling my mom about it, and she was like immediately like, "Okay, I want to help you, and we got this." And she tried to look up stuff, and it started out with like kind of a dietitian, which just did not help at all. Um, and then yeah, I mean, COVID started, and I was just so unhappy because binging just made me so, you know, unhappy with my life, and even depressed at a certain point. And so I went to therapy, and I did a bunch of different therapists, but then to be honest, they kind of just told me like, "Oh, this is probably why," um or they just wanted to talk about my past, things that
Yeah.
had happened, which did not do much for me. Um, and I also even went to like an actual eating disorder um, specialist, but she was more specialized in like anorexia and stuff. So that also did not quite help me. So I think because you went through it, that was the thing that actually was able to help me, and you have like these clear steps, because I knew that I wanted to like take action. I'm
Yes.
also like someone who loves to like know the steps, and I will follow them
Yep.
if you give me the steps.
Yes. Yes. And it's interesting. Before this, I just recorded a little snippet and I just shared how open you are to receiving coaching. Like I remember even one of our calls, you were mentioning that sometimes when you would be bored or just like home, you would just want to eat. It's like, oh, but it's just I'm looking forward to it. And I remember I shared something with you about like adding in more joy and pleasure. And you're like, oh, okay, like I'll try that. Like you were so
Yeah.
receptive to change. And I'd love to even hear from you. What made you want to commit to 12 months? Because obviously there's a 6 month option, there's a 12-month option, and you just went all in. You're like, I'm ready to go. Like I'm committing for the full year. What share your mindset behind that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember listening to a podcast of yours, and you said that you at a certain point had this like click in your mind of like, okay, I'm going to conquer this. And like I remember having that same click, because the like for years I was like, I would tell my mom like, I'm never gonna get past this. This is, I felt like this would always be in my life. I'm always gonna be binging and struggling with this. And then you were like in the podcast, like saying that you realize like I'm not an exception. Like I can conquer this. So I made this click where I was just like, I got this, and then I just, yeah, I wanted to go all in,
Hmm.
um, and do it right, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you did, and you're here. So let's dive into even, some wins. Like what I know there's probably been so many like mini wins and then more bigger
Yeah.
wins. But any specific wins you want to share throughout being inside of the program?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you said, I have so many small and bigger wins. The thing that I've noticed the most is that I just don't feel any stress around food anymore, and it's almost like I don't even think about it. It's just, and I used to just, yeah, I had so many thoughts going on in my head when I was eating, or just throughout the day. I would be like, okay, next, and like I'm gonna eat this at lunch, and I'm gonna eat this as a snack, and then and or like, oh, I wanted to, yeah, I was thinking about binging, things like that. And it's just all gone. Like I don't have that anymore. And I just feel like my mind is, I can think about so many more things than food. So that's just such a big win. And then I realized like that I just had so many of these weird, and I feel like a lot of people have that, like these weird rules. Like I can't have this, or I can't do this after eating this, or something like that, or like specific foods that I wouldn't even let myself have. And now I've like slowly been letting myself have those, and it's like I didn't realize, but it was scary at first. Like I didn't realize how like scary that was for me, because it was a rule and I just didn't let myself have it, but I didn't realize I had these rules.
Yep.
And so now I let myself have anything. Like, yeah, it's so crazy to me.
What were some foods that you were like, okay, I'm never allowing myself to have them, and you would obviously binge on them, that now you're able to just have those foods? What are some like examples?
Well, I used to be so scared of like sauces, or
Hmm.
like olive oil even.
Yep.
Like I would get nervous if my mom made stuff with olive oil, and now I cook with olive oil myself. So
Yeah.
um and like sauces, like I was scared of ketchup or mayonnaise or things like that. And like I even just realized that I would only let myself have um soda, like that like was diet, so diet soda. And then I just, at a party, I was like, okay, I'll have some iced tea, that's or some, and like an actual Coca-Cola, which I never did, and now I did. And I tried it, and nothing happened. It wasn't scary, and it's,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm glad
crazy.
you shared that, because I think a lot of the times people think, like you said, like, but I'm scared, so like I'm the exception. Like this person can add it in and maybe they're not afraid of it, or like they can do it, but like I'm terrified. Like something must be wrong with me. You guys, everybody feels the fear, but it's
Yeah,
badasses who lean in despite the fear. Like Helena was scared,
yeah,
but look at where she's at right now. So you can't fear the fear or think, oh, because I'm scared, maybe I can't do it. No, it's I feel scared, which is why I'm going to lean in, because it's
yes,
important for you, which is
yeah.
huge.
Because um, when I realized the difference between a craving and
Mm-hmm.
having an urge, that's like, and like just listening to what I'm craving, that was such a game changer for me. Because yeah, that's when I realized like, yeah, the more I let myself have what I crave, the less urges I would have. And in the beginning it was very difficult, because I didn't know what was a craving or what was an urge. And so it did sometimes like lead to a binge if I thought I
Yep.
was like giving into a craving. um but yeah, like literally challenging myself to actually eat what I'm craving made me so like less nervous about food, and have less urges. And yeah, it's crazy, because I used to think that that was like what was causing me to,
Yes.
yeah.
Everyone thinks that. They're like, Lorna, if I eat what I'm craving, I'm going to spiral out of control. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you're not actually eating what you're craving. You're giving into your urges, which is why you're spiraling
Yeah.
out of control, you know?
Yeah.
And like you said, like there is a process, right? It's not like you're going to eat what you're craving and you're never going to spiral out of control. Like maybe the first few times or even a few weeks or even a month or something, like you might eat what you're craving and it might lead into a binge, but
Yeah,
again, it's
definitely.
all habitual. So it's going to take some time. But you do need to be willing to commit to this process. Like you can't expect overnight results. Helena committed
No.
for a year, and this is why she's experiencing, less food thoughts, not even feeling urges at all, which is incredible.
Yeah.
So good. I love it. So you've tried dietitians, therapy, a bunch of different things. What made this process of like rewiring your brain, understanding that it was a habit and really implementing like the root and rewire process? What was different about this and all the other things that you've tried in the past?
Well, I think because you went through it, so it a lot of things just resonated with me. So I kind of felt like, okay, she understands what I'm going through. So that was like a big thing for me. And then like I said, I like that you gave me like actual steps or things like to regulate my nervous system. And like also um just like these small things like where yes, you would give me those things to regulate my nervous system, but you also said like, okay, this is what I experienced. Like I didn't want to do them because I knew that I wouldn't binge or I wouldn't eat. So I would tell myself, okay, I'm gonna do them and I can still eat afterwards.
Yeah.
So these like little things, because you went through it, just helped me. And yeah.
So good. I love that. I love that so much. And, obviously you went through this program at a very busy season of your life. Like you were still in school, like you were a very busy person going through this. And why don't you share how you were still able to really make this a priority? Because remember you said to me, like, I don't want to just stop binge eating. Like, I really want to become like a healthier version of myself. I want to build more, sustainable habits. And you were
Yes.
going through a lot, like very busy lifestyle. So how did you like manage to balance it all?
Well, yeah, because I often can be in the calls, because also like the time difference.
Yep.
I'm in Belgium here, so and I am a student, so it was just so much, especially during exam season. But I just because I wasn't in the calls, I did watch the recordings of the calls and all the sessions so many times, like on the train or like when I was cooking at my desk when I had time and I would write things down. And yeah, it was just so, I mean, I definitely made time for it. I Because I just knew how important this was for me.
Yeah.
Um, because I just wanted to really do this for myself. And it's so crazy to me because like I often am like, okay, if I say to myself I'm gonna do something, I do it. But with binging, like for so long, it was like this is not who I am because I say I'm not gonna binge and then I would end up binging. Um, and so now, like, yeah, that's just the type of person I am. I keep a promise to myself, and so that was very difficult with binging because I couldn't keep those promises that I made to myself.
Yeah. And a lot of people are like, I don't understand. I'm so disciplined. I'm so motivated in every area of my life. Like, why can't I figure out this whole binge eating
Yeah,
thing? And it's again, it's not about trying harder, more willpower, more motivation, because if it was, all of you guys would be binge free because all of you guys are so
yeah,
motivated, like Helena said, but you need the proper tools. Like
yeah,
you can't just try harder. You need to actually rewire your brain.
yeah,
Um, so you shared a few different wins, which is amazing. Now, as a whole, in terms of your life, like what are you able to experience? What are you able to do now that, food doesn't consume so much of your time and your day?
Yeah. I mean, there are so many things. Like, I was so uncomfortable with my body. And like, I would feel so horrible after a binge. So I would cancel plans, and I played field hockey, but then I wouldn't go to practice because I binged. So I was like, I can't go running, I can't perform and do my best. So I was missing out on a lot of things. Like, I feel very sad when I look back at that because I missed out on things because of just the binging, and just feeling so horrible in my body. And now I'm just able to like go and do so many things because I feel like I also had a lot of anxiety back then, like because I felt so uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and I just wouldn't go out much and do many things. And now I just feel like I have so much free time, and I get to spend time with my friends and my family. Like, I used to not go to dinner because then I had binged, but I would miss out on family quality time. So, yeah, so many things.
Oh, I just love it so much. And like, I hope like everyone listening, it's like you're not the exception. Like
Yeah.
Helena just decided, she just committed, she just went all in, she got the support, and that's why her life has completely transformed. And so, anyone listening, like, I'm not a unicorn, Helena's not a unicorn, but, Helena is someone who commits. She shows up, she puts in the work, and you heard like she couldn't come on the majority of the calls. Like I think
Yeah,
she came on
majority.
to a few, but you can listen to the trainings when you're driving or you're in the shower or you're cooking.
Yeah.
Like there's always a way to make it work. So um as we wrap up, Helena, is there anything you want to share with somebody listening who might be like, I think I'm the exception, or like, I don't know if this is going to work? Like, what would you say to someone?
I don't know. I I just think it's so crazy how far I've come because yeah, it was so difficult. Like, I struggled a lot, and yeah, I think telling myself that like I can conquer this and I will. I don't, yeah, I'm. It's so crazy because I really remember that moment of saying to myself like I will do this. I'm not an exception.
Mm,
Um, and especially like I did also listen to some podcasts with like clients of yours,
okay.
and then I saw like, okay, you've actually helped other people. So I really I believed in it, and yeah, I
That's
put
huge.
everything into it. Yeah.
You have, and you should be so proud of yourself. Like, first of all, like this podcast is, not even for other people. Like, this is also for you to look back on and just be so proud of yourself that you've
Yeah.
came so far, you showed up, and now you can, say that like you did it. It's like you've completely changed. You're a different person, and I'm just so proud of you.
Yeah, I'm so proud of myself.
That's amazing. Well, I appreciate you coming on and taking time to share all the way from Belgium. So cool. I love
And
it.
it's so crazy that like I was able to do this from all the way from Belgium, and also like even younger people who would be listening to this, like um it's so good to do this now because you have so much like so much ahead of you that you will be able to experience so much better without binge eating disorder. And I'm so happy that I did this so young because I mean, you have a lot of clients who are older and everything. So, yeah, I think for younger people, it was so amazing as well.
Yeah. And, not many people would take action because it's like, oh, like, I'm either going to struggle with this for the rest of my life, or it's like, you're not like an unhealthy person, and I think that's
Mhm.
a lot of the times too. It's like, but it's not that bad. Like, sure, I might cancel plans, but I can still spend time with my family, or I don't like how I feel, but I'm not like, 80 pounds overweight or like with crazy health issues. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
and when people think like my situation isn't like so bad, it's like, well, I don't know if I need help, but everybody deserves a different life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, I so appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been such an honor to support you.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you've really committed for yourself and you're able to experience your binge free life now. And thank you so much for sharing your heart.
Yeah, and I want to thank you because I don't think you realize like how much you've helped me.
Mm,
Thank you so much.
of course, of course. I always say I'm here to provide the tools, but if you didn't put in the work, you wouldn't have changed. It's not like you just join a program and you're like, I'm binge free. It's like, no, you had to also implement and,
That's
lean
true.
in and do the work. So yeah, it's a team effort, team
Yes.
effort. And I'm so proud of us because we did it together.
Yes.
So good. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a
Thank
beautiful rest of
you.
your day, Helena, and we'll chat
You
soon.
too.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Bye.
you.